Arey, have you watched the new film?
Which one?
The one called Hitman?
No.
I'll send you the link later.
Comedy violation. Flag of the joke. First down. DACA. Resume flight.
Welcome to Cinema Articulated. Today we'll be speaking about this film called Hitman, which stars Glenn Powell and
Adria Arjona.
written by Glenn Powell and Richard Linklater and directed by Richard Linklater. Do you want to speak about the premise of the film?
Yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
So this movie is about like as a random college professor who like part times at police department, like working like who is in since he's into tech, he's like helps with them like on a part time basis, like helps with all the tech thing like phone tapping and all of that jazz. So suddenly on a random day he gets tossed into
Undercover operation.
in an undercover operation, and like he has to act like a fake hitman to like catch the fugitives or like future fugitives. So and like what ensues after that debacle is the story.
Hmm. Just because it seems like you like the film a lot, I would like for you to start what you liked about the film.
So first and like foremost, the one thing that everyone who has watched or who hasn't watched or who is going to watch will take away is that Glenn Powell is a star in the making.
Ha.
To be honest, like the way he acts, the way he dons different
Different,
characters, that Patrick Bateman, be it that Patrick Bateman impression or that almost caricaturish Wes Anderson impression,
Yeah, the orange suit
with
one.
that gink on that,
Ha.
like and that Russian impression, like every which way it's a Glenn Powell movie, like through
Out and
through.
out, huh.
Like he has written it, he has starred in it, he carries the whole film from start to finish, and he's the star, and he's the only star of the movie, and that's the best part of like what I will take away from the movie. And the second part is Linklater is a genius writer. That's what I feel, because the way every movie of his has such dense philosophical and psychological things to talk about, and the way he explores those through the characters, both of the characters, is what I love. And like that's what genius writing is, right? Like how you inculcate all those intricacies of the characters, and also the philosophical things that you are talking about, like with the help of those characters. And that's what I feel the movie aces.
Okay.
And the thing it and like these are the positives, but then it isn't like your quintessential Linklater movie, like which aces with the wholesomeness and even the comedy shines through and through, right? But then where it falters is like the execution of it. And there are plaudits of like the main characters having a great chemistry, but I felt there was some iffiness between both of them. And yeah, the only thing is like the execution was not that great, and it doesn't live up to like your the usual Linklater movies. So that's what I feel is like the only negative thing that I can talk about. But then like if I want to encapsulate into something, then it's a brilliant comedy.
Okay.
That's all I say. Romantic comedy, by the way.
So on the surface, for me as well, it felt like a rom-com more than a dark comedy. Like the way it was branded, a dark rom-com. But speaking about the things I liked, so Glenn Powell's performance was great, obviously, in the film. Like he had a lot of things to do, as well as he had a good character arc. But then for some reasons, I felt I think this was a creative choice. Like they didn't have the arc wherein his whole range of emotion is explored. Like there were only the happy, the intelligent parts, and the spy parts, kind of like the spyish parts of the films, where he shines, obviously. Like he's like the, what you say, he has the very rom-com face now. What can I say? So he has that charisma on the screen throughout the film, and he aces that. And speaking about this is not the very quintessential Linklater films you're saying. This film felt like a lens which is away from the characters. Usually Linklater's films are work in a very intimate space, but then this, I felt it didn't. And also the whole film felt like a little bit too happy for whatever was happening on the screen. Like maybe it was meant to be that way for the edgy stuff that was going behind the scenes. But yeah, I felt those were my feelings about the film.
I'll like add on to that. Like if you like, I know like the movie felt very happy and very like and jolly type of a movie, right? But then it's a celebration of that guy in real life, Gary Johnson, who was like the real fake hitman. The backdrop, the city which is set in, it's a celebrative, like it is a city of celebrations. So New Orleans is known as the city of celebrations because like Mardi Gras, you might have heard, like if you watch American Pie, New Orleans is like the party capital, like in older times, like it's the celebrative capital. All of the south accent you come from, and you see a lot of people with the southern accent, that heavy thick accent, American accent, saying like howdy and all of that jazz. So yeah, so he set it up really well, like and like from the start of the movie you can see that it's going to be that movie, like it's never going to like take that different path and show us that it's going to be a thriller now, like sudden change nahi hone wala tha udhar kuch. So that's what I felt. And like it's a really funny movie, I'd say. I'll begin it from the start, okay? Like the way movie begins, okay? So there's a monologue, right? Which beautifully encapsulates what the movie is about. It's about that character Gary Johnson, like how he lives dangerously, and the way the professor is like explaining people who like seize the moment, like that
Carpe
diem thing, and like live dangerously, right? And like own your different personalities. Like that's what the conclusion is of all.
Says the guy who drives a Civic. Yeah. After that.
Yeah, and that was a good touch. Was a good touch, right? And that is addressed when they meet for the first time, when they like get into back. So yeah, I'll fast forward. So that's a good setup, right? And also the pregnant ex-wife coming back, and like that's just an exposition tab, as you said.
Blatant exposition tab.
Yeah, I know. But then that also sets up really well for like what's about to come ahead. And there are subtle nuances what I liked about the movie, right? So when there's a sudden the actual confrontation of like the true intentions of both the people, like she killed him, and the guy is not a fake hitman, right? And you see like there's not a sudden like it's an undressing of the Ron character. There's a subtle like he slowly comes out, like how before that scene there's that tide sequence, like where he explains the gravitational and everything. There's a sudden like he realizes that he's now becoming like he's like
when he should be Ron, he's becoming Gary.
Shedding, he's shedding out
mixing
of that Ron
things,
character and mixing both the things. And also like when the confrontation is about to happen, he gets a call, and then he like removes his phone from the jacket, and that's the flip phone, and flip phone characterizes Gary. Like what Gary is, right? Like the boring old man. And like he's now shedding the character bit by bit. And that's what I like about the movie. Like there are like small nuances, like small things which don't add up much, but then they kind of gel along with the story.
One last thing about writing that I would speak about is one good thing that he did was setting up the character as a professor, a philosophy and psychology professor. So what happens is before every bit of story that happens, so there's a kind of philosophy or psychology lesson kind of quote kind of thing that happens, and what later follows is kind of inculcation of that quote or phrase into a scene, and that forms the scene, and then we move on to the next quote and the next scene. So it happens like a professor, a hitman, a professor, a hitman. So first we have a quote of professor, then hitman acting, and so the film kind of works in that fashion.
I mean, like it's an exploration of his
It's
own
a very
personality.
interesting idea.
I mean, it's like he's trying to find himself, like inculcating both the characters into his life, and that's how he addresses, right, even at the ending, right? Like the voiceover, and there are like funny voiceovers like done by Glenn Powell himself, like during intimate scenes for some reason, which are
so
too long.
Intimate scenes went on for too long. Uncomfortably long.
I mean, we both agree like the female lead is very hot, but then there was no need to like stretch them.
Also, if you're showing intimate scene, don't disturb us with putting a voiceover which talks about id and ego.
There's a sequence where it shows the lane pity pleasure.
I haven't noticed
You
that.
didn't notice that?
No.
Okay. So since I watched it just yesterday,
Ah.
it's fresh on like in my memory. So there's a street named Pity and
Ah.
Pleasure.
Ah.
So that's
Okay.
where the transitions happens. Like he fucked up, right?
Ha, ha, ha,
By
ha.
getting into a pact
Acha,
with her.
ha, 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 ha.
So that's a pity pleasure for him.
Oh.
So there are like visual gags in the movie, like when he's the small spoon in that bathtub.
Ah.
Like it's a visual gag, like where it shows like the female lead is kind of dominating him. So I mean, it's a clever movie. I loved it. I don't know. I mean, yeah, that the chemistry is a bit iffy in between, but then the guy who plays
Suspended cop.
that cop. I mean, he does it too well, man. Like the
Caricature.
caricaturish. I mean, you don't hate him as such, right? Like you don't want to hate him as like I know he jacked up some teenagers, like he beat up some teenagers, he gets suspended and everything. But then you never really hate him because he's kind of I know he's struggling, he's that loner. I'll help him, but also I want something out of it. Yes.
So, did you find the last part wherein he decides, let's kill this man, convincing?
Okay, that felt very sudden. I'll agree, but then they were kind of building it up, right? Like even with the confrontation, like the way they confront each other, like you killed him, and I am not a fake hitman. He is trying to mold himself into that character now. Like
Okay.
and I don't know about that love part, but then the notes sequence.
I liked that scene very much.
That was written very well.
Huh.
And but the thing is, it was really brilliantly acted.
The scene or the end part?
No, the note
Note scene,
sequence. Note sequence, okay. But the thing is, I was expecting, and the tension was really building up. Like where, like she'll fumble, like she'll yell out Gary
Yeah,
or something. But it never does, and that if that would have happened, then the ending sequence would have made sense. Like I mean she is now into him, but then with the facial expressions they kind of showed it like that she is kind of getting into him, like when she yells like get the fuck out of here.
That I understood. कि मतलब she was smitten पहले भी and then how ऐसा.
Like when he goes to sleep, there's a Mahatma Gandhi book on his bedside, like showing how boring and
saint he is.
Yeah, like I mean,
Also his cats are named Ed and Ego. And what happened to them? मतलब उसका कुछ दिखाया नहीं. So basically कि he's such a geek, philosophy geek कि उसने अपने cats को वैसा नाम रखा है.
if you notice those things, then it's fun, man. Like I like the movie because there were like all those bits and pieces to take away from, and it engaged you with the even the music, all the pavements and the names, right? The pleasure you, everything, and those are the music they use.
अच्छा song names.
Yeah, Alicent something. There's a road name, Alicent or something, and they use that guy's music in that movie.
Oh.
So that was, I mean, not many people might have picked up, but then
Easter eggs.
clever, yeah. That's what you call them, Easter eggs.
But like apart from the characterizations, the characterizations were good, writing part. So technically, did you find anything striking?
Technically, there was not much, but then see, technical aspects mein, like I wouldn't take away much. Like very,
it was just
the cinematography
another,
was just another way, like movie, like high Hollywood movie. Given it was an indie movie, actually it's an indie movie because they both
produced by both
the
of them.
movie, So yeah, I mean there's nothing special about the cinematography or the music. Even for the matter, the direction was also not that like great.
But the film is a good watch, an enjoyable weekend watch. You'd say that.
It's a lovely watch. You can watch it again as well. Like it's not your one time watch movie. You'll like it even, and also you will pick up all those things that I've mentioned, that small things with the next watch.
Okay.
So it's a great movie, and I think, and the only problem I have is like it released on Netflix, and it's going to like lost. It's going to get lost in the ocean of content that's on like Netflix, and
so definitely
it's a
give the
quirky
film a
movie.
watch and have a good time.
And I think we all should watch it, and you'll definitely admire the female lead a lot more.
And more importantly, you should subscribe to our channel and like
like
this video.
the videos.
Yeah.
Please subscribe. We want to hit 100 subscribers. That's the goal, right?
We have been having this goal, but yeah, let's make it happen
Let's make
this
it
time.
happen. Yeah, do like, do share, and we're going to put this thing. Thanks for watching and keep supporting us. Bye.
And please keep drinking water, stay hydrated. Bye.